The Kia Soul EV, Kia's first all-electric model, has been getting kind of old in the tooth. First launched in 2014 as an electric alternative to the popular subcompact crossover, the battery-electric five-seater originally launched with a 27 kilowatt-hour battery pack, CHAdeMO DC quick charging, and an estimated range on the US EPA test cycle of 93 miles, 150 kilometres. Since then, it's been available in select markets around the world, with European and US sales following its home market launch in South Korea. While the Soul EV had the largest city driving range of any electric car in its class at the time, its brick-like shape didn't do it any favours at higher speeds. More popular in Europe, where availability was far better than the limited market compliance car state sales model employed in the US, the Soul EV's higher sticker price did put many customers off owning one. And although Kia did increase battery pack capacity to 30 kilowatt hours usable for the 2018 model year car, sales of the Soul EV haven't been huge in the US and Canada, due in part to the longer range, easier to purchase Chevrolet Bolt EV available for just $3,000 or $4,000 more. So when Kia announced its all-new Niro EV with an EPA estimated 239 miles of range per charge, there was some question as to if Kia would even bother to continue to make the Kia Soul EV. At last week's LA Auto Show, Kia confirmed that it would, unveiling the next-generation Soul and Soul EV. Tweaked to look a little meaner and sportier than the original Soul, and it seems without those hamsters, the new Kia Soul and Kia Soul EV are squarely aimed at millennials, and with the same 64 kilowatt-hour battery pack found in the Kia Niro EV and Hyundai Kona electric, Kia says the Soul EV should offer double the range of 111 miles offered by the 2018 Kia Soul EV. Sadly, we're still waiting for pricing, official range, and a few other things, but based on what we know thus far, is the new 2020 Kia Soul EV, which is due to launch next year, going to be a car you should consider buying? And how does it compare to the Kia Niro EV and the Hyundai Kona electric? First up, I think it's important to note that when it comes to these three cars, they're all powered by the same drivetrain and battery pack as each other. They all come with 7.2 kilowatts of onboard charging as standard, with CCS quick charging offering higher power refueling when you're away from home. Kia says the Soul EV will recharge at up to 100 kilowatts until the battery is 50% full, then slowly ramp down charging power to protect the battery. And I'd guess that's a similar fashion to the Kona electric and Niro EV, although that's not official, of course. There's even the same paddle shifter for controlling regenerative braking, making all three cars a very similar vehicle from a technical standpoint. And that's kind of the point I need to make here. With the Kia Soul EV, Kia Niro EV and Hyundai Kona electric, you're essentially getting the same drivetrain and similar specifications, meaning that instead of being forced to pick the one electric model that meets your range requirements, you can, for the first time I'd suggest, pick a car that meets your preferences when it comes to interior space, form factor and practicality. And while the Kona electric will cost a little more, these three cars are pretty close in the stuff that everyone has worried about with EVs to this point. Of course, Tesla's already doing it, but it's slightly different. Need illustration? Well, inside the new Kia Soul EV, there's the same gear selector dial and electronic parking brake as a Niro EV, which opens up the cabin a little over the previous older gear shift lever and manual parking brake. But while the Kona electric has a far more luxurious cabin with a floating centre console and plenty of below-deck storage, and the Niro EV is a little more businesslike in its clean, clear lines, the Soul EV retains some of those round, soft design languages that we've been familiar with in previous Souls. In other words, the Soul EV is a car you might want to consider if you prefer your interiors to be a little more fun. Yes, there's a little more plastic, at least it seems that way, but I'd also suggest that the Soul EV is a little less fussy in its interior. And the similarities don't stop there. Because these three cars are based on the same drivetrain, there's very little difference in exterior dimensions, even when the gasoline versions of these vehicles have more substantial variation. So far then, well, aside from the sticker price, which we still don't know, and probably a few differences in range because of aerodynamic differences between the cars, it's really reached a point that these trio of cars are giving you the same choices that you've had for any internal combustion engined car, what your preference for vehicle style and body design is, rather than the drivetrain. And that's a phenomenal thing because it shows that electric vehicles are finally coming of age. A point where automakers offer just one electric vehicle in their range is long gone. Yes, the Soul EV is going to be offered as a limited market car, meaning that you could argue it's a compliance car, but my hope is that this car, as well as its siblings, will show that electric drivetrains are ready to be treated like internal combustion engined vehicles. What I mean by that is you simply pick the car which suits your preferences and design specifications. The drivetrain is now a secondary consideration. Am I wrong? Do you disagree? Or are there significant differences between these vehicles that I'm not getting? Obviously, I've not had a chance to drive any of these cars yet, but when I do, I'll be sure to give you a proper review and a cross comparison. That's it. Don't forget to give us your thumbs up or your thumbs down, leave a comment, and as always, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks to our Patreon supporters, without whom we'd never be able to produce all of this daily content for you to all enjoy. If you fancy it, you can join them for yourselves at patreon.com/transportevolved. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep evolving.